Hey guys, welcome back to Top 10 Nerd. I'm Ron Mackenzie LaFergie. Deadpool and Spider-Man are two of Marvel's most popular characters right now, helped along by the huge amount of hype surrounding their respective movies, and the awesomeness of said movies. And as many have noticed, they're quite similar in a number of ways. So let's talk about what it is that makes these guys such a great pair. Get ready, it's time for the top 10 similarities between Deadpool and Spider-Man. Number 10. Similar costumes. I mean, this one's pretty obvious even to people who don't know them. They both have tight costumes, both are mostly red, both have big spots on their eyes. True, one is being used to hide Peter's identity, and one is being used to hide the fact that Wade looks like a gross, bumpy, veiny, cocky individual. But the costumes themselves look extremely similar, to the point where they had to put a bunch of disclaimers out about the R-rated film for fear that parents would take their kids to Deadpool thinking it'd be Spider-Man. And my goodness, was that film ever not like Spider-Man. Number 9. They love to annoy Wolverine. Both Deadpool and Spider-Man have pretty well developed relationships with Logan, and neither of them are exactly in his good books. While he definitely dislikes Deadpool more, partly due to their rivalry as healing factor heroes, and partly because Deadpool's just way more of a jerk, he definitely isn't a fan of Spidey's antics either. He does look out for Peter and wants him to do well, but he spends most of his time being annoyed by the kid. It's not particularly surprising given Wolverine's grumpiness and the distinct lack of grump found in Deadpool and Spidey, but it's always fun when they team up. Number 8. Acrobatics. While Spider-Man definitely wins the Acrobatics award on this one, both characters have shown some pretty impressive flexibility and acrobatic ability. I've never said the word acrobatic so much in my life. Anyway, Wade and Peter are both extremely agile, with Wade's intense training and increased reflexes, and Peter's spider abilities. These two show so much acrobatic ability in their comics that in Deadpool number 11, when Deadpool was sent back to Amazing Spider-Man number 47, he was superimposed in Spidey's place in a battle with Kraven the Hunter. Anytime you can fill the shoes of Spider-Man in battle, you know you're pretty darn agile. Number 7. Mid-fight banter. This is probably one of the most striking similarities between the two when reading their comics. Both love to trash talk their enemies while fighting. Now, Deadpool is certainly more explicit in his chirps, but Spider-Man has been known to drop a zinger or two in his time. This is something that really makes people love them so much, and it's a huge part of the reason that they work together so well. And also a huge reason that Deadpool wants to get into Spider-Man's pants like nothing else. Number 6. They've both been divorced. If you've been keeping up on your Spider-Man, you'll know that Peter and Mary Jane were married for a time, but ended up getting divorced. It was sad, but it kinda had to happen. Peter was getting lame. But what's more surprising, and a way more interesting story, is that Deadpool was married to Shiklah, Queen of the Underworld, for a time. I mean, what else would you expect from the guy who charmed the pants off Death herself? Shiklah eventually left him to get back with her ex, who happened to be Dracula, but it was a pretty weird story arc. Man, if Scott Pilgrim wanted to date Deadpool, he'd have his work cut out for him dealing with all those exes. Number 5. They both lost loved ones. This one's fairly sad and also kind of spoilery because they may come about in future movies, so if you're afraid of having things spoiled, feel free to skip to the next point. Spider-Man, as most people know by now, lost his girlfriend Gwen Stacy to the Green Goblin. Now here's where the possible spoiler comes in. Deadpool lost his on-again, off-again girlfriend Vanessa, otherwise known as the mutant shapeshifter Copycat, at the hands of Sabretooth. Now granted, Vanessa ended up coming back, but frickin' everyone comes back, so it still counts. Number 4. They both had clones. Surprisingly, clones aren't exactly common in the world of superheroes. Alternate versions? Yes. Shapeshifters? Sure. But cloning isn't actually that prevalent. But that didn't stop these two guys from finding yet another similarity between them. They both had a clone. Spidey's is more of a standard clone, Ben Reilly, created scientifically by the Jackal, but Deadpool's is a little stranger, and a little more Deadpool-y. In his case, his clone was created when he found a bunch of his own body parts in his stalker's fridge and threw them in a dumpster, where they combined to create an evil Deadpool clone. I think I'd take Ben Reilly based on smell alone. Number 3. They're both funny. This might be stepping on the toes of the mid-fight banter point, but I think it stands alone. Not only do these guys like to chirp their enemies while they fight, but they're straight up funny in their everyday lives. Whether they're teasing their teammates, using their boyish charm to woo the ladies, or just making funny comments to themselves, it's undeniable that these are two of the most comedy-focused heroes out there, at least as far as mainstream heroes go. As I previously said, Deadpool's humor is a bit more out there and a whole lot less safe for work, but both comics leave me chuckling from time to time. Number 2. They both lived with old ladies. This is a bit of a strange one, because it's kind of weird how similar these guys are the more you think about it. We all know that Spider-Man lived with his absolutely adorable Aunt May, but Deadpool also lived with an old lady whom he loved. Blind Al. We saw her in the movie in all her glory, and she's been around in the comics since Deadpool #1. Since her introduction, we've had the pleasure of seeing her relationship with Wade become stranger and stranger, and I love it. And it's great that Wade and Peter goof around a lot in heroics, but at the end of the day, they're still looking out for their elderly roommates. Number 1. Both made allies out of enemies. Here's another one that shows the strange similarities between the two. Both Spider-Man and Deadpool have set aside their differences and worked with an enemy to achieve a common goal. When Carnage was introduced, Spidey had to work with his nemesis Venom to take the new symbiote out. At the same time, while Cable was first introduced as a foil to Deadpool, the two slowly built a friendship throughout their adventures, eventually becoming basically a buddy cop movie. And nowadays, both Peter and Wade get along with their old enemies pretty well, to the point where Deadpool and Cable's bromance is starting to make Spidey jealous. That's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please smack that thumbs up button and subscribe to Top 10 Nerd for more videos. Who do you like better, Deadpool or Spider-Man? Let me know in the comment section down below. I think you know my choice. Until next time, I'm Ron Mackenzie LaFergie with Top 10 Nerd. Later, nerds.